Hey guys. Good to see you all again. It's good to be back. It's my second time speaking here, so always honored to be part of this event. Drew asked me to come and tell you guys the story of digital telepathy, which is a 14-year affair, and I've got 15 minutes. So I'm going to do my very best to share mostly the mistakes and failures we've had and a few of the successes and some bite-sized morsels, and just show you how we've evolved over time. And hopefully, we could share a little bit of the success that we found by doing things our way. And I'd love, if you guys haven't been able to accomplish this at this point in your life, we want to tell you how to accomplish things, doing things your way as well. So I guess I'll get started here. If you don't know digital telepathy, we're a user experience design company, product company. We love writing blog posts, anything about design here in San Diego. We've hired and trained about 50 world-class designers. We've designed over 1,000 websites and apps. And we've built about 5 products, some that have succeeded, some that have failed miserably. And more recently, we found a way to get our clients to pay us on a recurring monthly basis for absolutely no statement of work or required deliverables, which was like a magic trick that took us over 10 years to figure out. But it wasn't always this way. We have a very simple beginning. And I thought I would start by, the two people before me said they weren't going to be self-indulgent or preachy, so I'm going to try to do both of those things to be a little bit different. But I'm going to start with that self-deprecating and show you the first website we ever designed, completely out of paper and ink. Very advanced functionality. It had some pull tabs at the bottom of this, which you can rip off my contact information, put it in your pocket, give me a call on your landline, and I'd show up just like Uber to fix your computer. So this is my first business in college. I was working at the university bookstore with my now business partner, Arnold Yoon. We were selling these poor college kids overpriced computers. And we were noticing that they kept coming back in and saying, like, I don't know how to use this computer. Like, and by the way, like, the internet's broken. Like, I don't know how to fix it. And we started to notice that, like, we were selling these computers and no one was really able to use them to the fullest capability, at least not the people we were selling them to. The smart people didn't buy from us. So we had an idea. First of all, we hated our job. We were paid $5 an hour to do this horrible, terrible job. So we just had an idea, like, why don't we, instead of selling these people computers, why don't we teach them how to use them? And so we went on our own. We quit, and we started fixing people's computers, teaching them how to use them, and made $25 an hour, which was like amazing, so much beer money in college. It was kind of incredible. And this was our first taste of entrepreneurship. We learned that we didn't have to have, jobs could be awesome, jobs could be fun, they didn't have to suck, and we could define our own path and decide what we wanted to do for a living. And you would think that that would be such an epiphany that we would stay on that path, but of course, like, we wanted to be good college kids, and when we graduated, we moved to the big city and took a corporate job. I guess you can't see that very well, but that's a corporate office. I took my first job at Arthur Andersen, which was exactly what I was supposed to do, but it was the opposite of what I wanted. It was cubicles and khakis and bureaucracy and just horrible corporate life, and I went from being this, like, cool tech guy fixing the cute girls' computers in the dorms to being a dude writing a white paper on Windows 98. And needless to say, I wasn't fulfilled. It was totally miserable. So I quit, and I took one big takeaway from this, which is that being conventional sucks. Doing things like the normal way doesn't really result in anything that life-changing for you. It just kind of passes the time. And I took all this that I learned, the way they did culture, the way that they did process, the way they interacted with each other in the corporate setting, and I actually threw it all out the window and created a company on something that was the complete opposite of that. And so more self-deprecation. In 2001, we started a new company called Digital Telepathy. And just take this in here for a second. The amount of time we took to choose that yellow was pretty unbelievable. It was a beautiful flash animation on the top there, and that neural pool of fonts enough to make you want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. But this is what it was, and we figured just fuck it. Like, we could get another job, right? Like, we might as well try this. We might as well go out on our own. We were highly employable. We were young. we might as well try something. And in 2001, it's a great time to start a business. Like all the other businesses were going out of business. So we figured if we could survive at this point, we could survive through anything. And we chose web design because we had a feeling, first of all, that this internet thing may catch on. But second of all, we weren't fulfilled in our other jobs, right? So we were writing white papers. I'm pretty sure we're getting shredded once I passed them in. And in this case, we could put something that anybody in the world could see. Maybe it was just our moms seeing it, but at least it was available on an IP address and a URL that someone could see it. So this was our first taste, and I'm going to go through a few of my offices. This is my first office. This is a small cabin on a 42-foot catamaran. And when we went out on our own, we decided we could work from any place. So we had this opportunity to sail through Baja California, and we built our first 5-6 websites on a boat for the first 6 months. And we sucked. Like, we were terrible at what we did, but we made enough money to get by. We were living the life on a boat in beautiful Baja California. And this was like our first taste of freedom and understanding like this freedom is pretty addictive. And it's something that it's not about money, like Jeff said. It is about like happiness and about having fun, about being fulfilled in what you do. And that's the point when I became officially unhireable. And I never looked back since. So eventually, we couldn't stay sailing forever. We had to actually land on solid ground again. Man, you can't see anything at all. Well, this is a picture of our first office. I don't know if that helps now. So our first office was here in San Diego. It was a bedroom office, our first of 2 bedroom offices. We expanded into the garage at one point. But it was just a shit show full of CRTs and IKEA furniture and all this stuff. And it was the happiest we've ever been. Again, we still kind of sucked at what we did. We were still figuring things out along the way. But it's a weird time. Like I had to convince people to build websites instead of invest in Yellow Pages ads. So we kind of had to learn along the way, and we did a little bit of anything. I would sell anything I could sell. So I would sell them a website, but that was just the beginning. I'd sell them SEO. I'd sell them development, hosting, email marketing, anything. And it was just these 2 dudes doing this stuff, right? So we were always getting fired. We were always screwing something up. So I realized another lesson, which is that I had to focus and start being unique at something. This is where I learned in the corporate life, where I was just kind of doing the same crap every day. It's just dull. You're not going to stand out. And we also had these like big philosophical beliefs in our personal life, and we weren't melding that with our business life. We were just being normal douches in the small business world when we really could be standing out and being different and showing what we were passionate about. And so we took this, our first kind of big shift was like stopping being a web designer or providing web design services and learning like how we could make a difference in people's companies by doing those services. So we started looking more about like, what do people want to accomplish? What kind of solutions are they looking for? And then we'll figure out a way to accomplish those things. So that was a big turning point for us, and that's what allowed us to grow a little bit. It's a little lighter. So we got another office, which was kind of cool. We actually were able to hire people. We stopped working in our houses, which was actually a nice upgrade. And we were getting better at what we did, but we still weren't great at what we did. We still felt like we had a job. And every month, I had to go out there and I had to close more business and keep the lights on. And it was not fun. It stopped being fun. So something had to change, and we decided to take some desperate measures. And this is kind of where the inflection point happened. We decided that we weren't going to do this the rest of our life. We wanted to do things we were passionate about. And the only way that we were going to be able to make a transition into doing things we were passionate about with this company is be willing to lose everything in our company. So we made a decision that if we make this shift out of doing what we're doing now and we find a way to do what we're passionate about, we have to be willing to close the doors down if it doesn't work and just do something else. I wasn't employable, but we would have figured it out in one way or another. And so we did this exercise. Has anybody heard of the hedgehog concept? Oh, nobody. That's amazing. All right. One person. So the hedgehog concept is from the last business book I think I've ever read, which is Good to Great by Jim Collins. And this is how it works. So you draw a circle, and you write everything you're passionate about in life and business. And you draw another connecting circle, and you write what you think you can be best at. And then finally, you draw a third circle, and you write all the different ways you can generate revenue to sustain yourself. And so we wrote all these different things, and what we had found out that we're most passionate about was making a difference. It's like being fulfilled with what we did. So when we go to work every day, if we're building things, if we're doing things that are actually making a difference and mattering for other people. What we wanted to be best at, and we weren't best at by any means, was to be great designers. So design was what stuck out of there. And then revenue generation, I was tired of closing these deals every month just to keep the lights on. So we decided we wanted recurring revenue. So we came up with this mantra called design makes a difference. And that stood for us using design every day and only using design to actually make a difference for our clients. And we somehow had to find a way to do that on a recurring basis, which didn't really exist at this time. Design was the last item on people's budget. Design was after development, was after marketing, was after content and copy and all these things. Design was like this little tiny sliver. So we had a long road to cover, and people thought we were completely batshit crazy when we would show up and talk to them about hiring us for design. So we came up with this concept of a design subscription, where you could subscribe to our services and we would work towards objectives for you. And we wanted to start working more towards the why instead of the what. Most people that would come to us with RFPs, with technical specs, would want us to just design these already pre-existing pages or something they've already written copy for, strategies they've already made. And it always ended up in just crappy subpar design. And so we kind of flipped it on its head, and we started asking why. Why do you want to design that? What do you want to accomplish? And we developed a process that we use today called objectives-based design, where we look at the business objectives, what people want to accomplish, and we use design as our execution to be able to accomplish those things. And we all know that the design's never done. At some point, you do have to ship, but there's always iteration, there's always improvement, there's always optimization that we can do. And so we kind of bet the farm on that people would get this eventually and that we'd be able to provide success to their business by doing this. And then we almost shut down. I think we had probably a week's, maybe one payroll left in the bank. We were so close to shutting down. The lights were barely still on, and some people just started believing in us. We started to find a client that trusted us, and we went to probably 100 different pitches before one person said yes. And that person said yes, and we did a great job for them. They referred us to someone else, and they referred us, and finally it started growing. And we almost hit the mountain, but we pulled up at the last second, and we've been growing like crazy ever since, which is really cool, right? So we've been growing about 100% a year in the last 4 years, and we're 14 years old. It's not something that happens usually at a company of our age and our mediocrity before this. So what we learned here is that you really have to be willing to risk everything to do what you really love, to do what you're passionate about. If we wouldn't have said, okay, we're okay if the doors close, if we wouldn't have said that, we probably would have pulled up and gone back to what we were doing before. We probably wouldn't have gotten to where we've gotten to. So what did we do when we grew? Got a new office. A little cooler, a little bigger. But honestly, like, these offices don't matter. They're just a metaphor for our evolution. Like, these are just shells to hold the people that do the design. And the next stage, once we had a great business model, once things were working, once we didn't have to worry about keeping the lights on anymore, and we could grow, we started asking ourselves about sustainability. How do we keep doing this? How do we keep putting more design out in the world? How do we keep creating an impact on the world? And we can't do it by just doing more business. We can't do it by closing more deals and working with more clients. We have to do it by spreading this idea of culture and creating the culture from within and removing us from having just a few leaders and a bunch of designers to having us have a bunch of leaders within our organization. So we started to embrace our culture as our #1 priority in our company. We put it in front of profit. We put it in front of the quality of our designs. We put it in front of our clients. We put it in front of everything because it's the people that build the products, the people that come up with the ideas, the people that are there. Clients come and go, offices come and go, but people are there to stay, hopefully. And it's been one of the best things that we've ever done. Again, it was a big risk. We basically removed all our profit and put it back into our people. We work, there's a few DT people here, so if you ever run into one, you should ask them about the culture. We work 4 days a week on client work. We work 1 day a week just on ourselves, on bettering ourselves, on innovation, on being creative. Sometimes that yields products. Sometimes we do stuff. Other times we just learn. We just communicate. We work better together. We all eat lunch together. And we don't eat as a perk. It's not like you go up and you grab food and you go to your desk. You connect. You talk to each other. We design our office around connecting with each other as well. And so we become a company of friends. And that's made us so much stronger. And I think it's really our greatest investment in our future as legacy is when I'm not here, when I'm not involved anymore in the company, the DT goes on. Like the belief system that we've created with DT goes on as well. And so what we've been trying to do is spread this message to other people, other companies, and especially non-design companies. We want to actually spread design culture to all companies if possible. And the way that we think about this is if a company hires a designer, they could actually have a good product out of that. If a company hires a group of designers, they can make some great things. But if a company adapts design culture, they're unstoppable. It's something that permeates everything that they do. And if you look at some of the companies out there that have really embraced design culture, like an Airbnb or obviously an Apple, you see what a leg up that they have on everything. It has to be authentic, but it is something that I think is really available, and I think it's our jobs to really help people adapt that within their organizations and ourselves. So I'm going to leave you guys with just a little preachy advice here. I've gotten lots of advice in my life. I've read lots of books. I've had lots of people help me, and that's been helpful. But nothing's been as helpful as actually just trusting my gut, as looking inward and doing what I feel right. This is called like how to do it your way. And every time I've not done that, I've failed. And every time I've actually just took the plunge and done it, we've done better. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is like find yourself in whatever you do. If it's a product like Kieran was making there, it's like he did that for himself, right? So find something in that for yourself. If you work for a company, find yourself in that company. If you build a product, find yourself in that product. And I have a quick example. I've shown you some of our more embarrassing stuff, but I'll show you some of our more current stuff right now. We just spent 9 months redesigning our site, which is about 6 months too long. And we did an amazing amount of research ahead of time. We did personas. We had like the whole 9. We had all these designs, and we ended up scrapping everything. Because at the end of the day, we looked at it, and we said, this isn't us. Like, this is just us trying to be someone else again. So we decided to just put some video cameras in the office for a week, just film kind of what we do and show people what we do on a daily basis. And not even really to try to lead anything with that. And then in addition to that, we have a good friend, Sekou Andrews, who's a spoken word artist. And we asked him to just interview some of the people at the company and write a story about what our philosophy of design is and what our philosophy of design culture is for the rest of the world. So I've kind of mashed those two together. They're not supposed to go together, but I'm going to give you guys a quick view of that right now.
That idea you have, it's pretty awesome. You're a great designer. Oh, trust me, you are a designer. Well, we all are. From the moment you drew a picture of a landscape in preschool, then decided a yellow sun in the corner of the page shooting sunbeams would make it better, you were a designer. That peanut butter sandwich that got awesomer when bananas were bravely added, you did that. Before you cut out a door, drew in windows, surrounded it with pillows, and proclaimed it a fort. It was just a cardboard box. That was all you, baby. So don't say you can't design your idea. You design the world around you every day. That's how we define design. Taking the stuff that means the most to you and making it better in the most meaningful ways. So, it starts with you. There are untold forts within you waiting for you to transform boxes. You don't need us for that. We just want to help you draw in the windows and arrange the pillows to perfect your fort experience. Because that sounds fun. And we believe folks should not just be in business for the funs of it, but for the fun of it. We believe giving is green. So doing what you love for people you like creates sustainable energy for life. And fun gets even more fun when it's at least +1. We're all connected. We call it impact design. If it makes your world better, it'll probably impact mine. Let's get together and make the stuff we love even better. every experience is one great design away from being meaningful and is waiting for you to craft it. So go conquer an awesome goal so that you have a reason to throw an awesome party with awesome people to celebrate awesomeness. In fact, find reasons every day to celebrate something with people you love. We promise life will be better for it. And if you ever want that something to be a meaningful experience that catapults your growth, or a soulful design that gives your business massive impact, or a magical, impenetrable cardboard fort, we got you.
All right. Thank you, guys.